Many Treasure Valley families, going to the movie theater is a standard weekend pastime. But for one local family, the movies aren't a pastime, they're a way of life. In this week's Made in Idaho, we hop on Highway 2026, head west, and don't stop until we pull in to the Parma Motor View.
It's pretty much my baby, aside from my family.
A short 30-minute drive from Nampa, you'll find Karen Cornwell's baby, the Parma Motor View, one of the area's last surviving drive-in movie theaters. Though this baby is now over 65 years old.
In 1953, television had come to the valley and it was turning the movie industry upside down. And my dad thought a drive-in theater would help combat television.
So Cornwell's dad and mom built the Parma icon in the 50s and operated it until 1976, which is when Cornwell and her husband took over.
I've been here ever since.
So has the theater's famous popcorn machine, which Cornwell says is one of the theater's biggest draws.
Probably the highlight of this place is our popcorn machine. It's the original. It's 66 years old, still popping the best corn in the valley.
And while the popcorn hasn't changed much over the decade, Cornwell says the industry's technology sure has, and her drive-in right along with it. From its infancy in delicate film.
Film used to be very fragile. It could break. A bad splice could just tear the machine up.
To its adolescence with what Cornwell calls the big reel.
Which was a little bit easier because you weren't going back and forth.
To now the all grown up digital age.
We're gonna walk out that door and at 9:40, boom, it's gonna light up and we'll have a picture on the screen. It does have a few issues if you don't know what you're doing.
Cornwell's entire family has grown up at the Motor View, with all of her children and now 7 of her grandchildren having worked at the theater.
They became very involved and became best friends because of the drive-in.
These days, Cornwell is getting ready to hang up the film reel for good, but don't worry, the drive-in is in good hands.
Enjoy the movies, guys.
Cornwell's daughter, Susan Ahheim, is getting ready to take over the ticket booth.
And I am more than thrilled to be able to pass it on in the family.
Ahheim says she grew up working at the drive-in and has fond memories of watching her grandfather bust would-be rule breakers.
Remember being at the ticket booth and having my grandfather ask people to open the trunk because people are trying to sneak in. If there were people in there, he'd make them pay.
Neither mother nor daughter can quite put their finger on what makes the drive-in such a draw for Treasure Valley families. They just know it's never lost its family-friendly appeal.
People bring their kids out and they camp, they have chairs and couches and you name it.
And they say that won't change, even with a changing of the guard.
It's just an amazing place. It's magical.
That's so fun. Yeah. So the drive-in, it always offers a double feature on movie night. Cool. So plan on a long night because the first movie doesn't start till around dusk, of course, when it's getting dark, right? And right now the movies are playing only on weekends. The summer starts to wind down, but you can check the full movie schedule by visiting this story on our website later this morning.
I just looked. This weekend it's Mamma Mia 2 and Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
What a combo.
My favorite thing about this theater, though, is you can bring your dog, too. They'll let you bring your
cool.
dog. Yeah.
No charge, hopefully.
Yeah, no kidding. As long as Grandpa's not around.
That's right, yeah. Don't hide in the trunk, they'll get you. And they say people have brought couches out like in the backs of their trucks and they set them out. It's just a great family-friendly. And they choose family-friendly movies too. They're very careful about that, so it's good for everybody.
I really feel like that's just an old piece of like 50s, 60s, 70s, bringing it here.
Yeah.
What a cool thing to see.
Isn't that fun? It's so fun. All right.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. You've seen it on store shelves, and if you've lived long enough in Idaho, you've definitely tasted it for yourself.
Oh yeah, this month the Idaho Candy Company is dishing out sweet treats for the holidays by the truckload. 6 on your sides, Karen Lair takes us inside the factory to learn more about the iconic candy made in Idaho.
Different colored, old-fashioned nostalgic candies is really what we do.
It may not look like Santa's workshop, but inside this historic Boise storefront, you'll find a crew cranking out Christmas candy faster than the North Pole.
We start Christmas usually in September is actually when we start gearing up staff.
David Wagers is now the president of the company, but especially around the holidays, he prefers his other title.
On my business cards, I go by Candyman. So that's much more fun to be Candyman than president.
The Candyman will tell you the company's become an iconic fixture in the candy making industry, and he has a fair point.
I mean, where else can you find a candy bar named after a potato?
For more than a century, Idaho Candy Company has prepped, produced, and packaged Willy Wonka-sized shipments of peanut brittle, butter toffee, lemon drops, and Idaho Spuds right in the heart of downtown Boise.
We do 30,000 Idaho Spud bars a day. We'll do a couple million of those a year. We sell them in gift boxes. People ship them all over the country.
And when you're around for that long, you can't help but become a fan favorite in the community.
We have customers that are well over 50 years old that continue to give our candy as a representation of their company, which is awesome for both of us.
And inside this factory, tradition is important.
We are an old nostalgic candy company, and you can't form a new old nostalgic candy company.
Not only are they still serving up the same sweet staples a lifetime later, but they're using some of the same equipment dating back to the 1910s and 20s.
We're very good at fixing things. Nobody else works on these machines but us because nobody else knows how to fix them.
And true to their Idaho roots, the company buys many of their individual ingredients from within the Treasure Valley.
Well, we are Idaho Candy Company, and for that means we live and die by Idaho. So we're always trying to say, can we get legitimate sources of our products locally where we can buy them and use them, so we support other Idaho families.
A tradition as sweet as it looks.
It's still a small business feel.
Karen Laird, 6 on Your Side.
Yum, those look good.
So good.
Yeah, and if you want to get your treats straight from the source, they have a storefront at the factory on 8th Street. Free samples included.
Yeah, it's a fun place to visit. And spread the word to your out-of-state friends, too. Idaho Candy Company distributes to retailers in 12 states across the country. Those little potatoes are what I always mail to everyone out of
that's
state.
a good idea.
Yeah. Send something Idaho, and at Christmas time, it's got to be edible stuff, right? Candy's always perfect for the stockings. You don't have to live in the Treasure Valley for long to realize that Scentsy is a big part of this community, not only physically with its sprawling 73-acre campus in Meridian, but also culturally due to the company's core mission to give more than it takes. But I wanted to know the story behind the multi-million-dollar company, so I sat down with the founders of Scentsy to find out what it took to build this Made in Idaho business. All it takes is one glimpse of Scentsy Commons in Meridian to realize this is a business that is booming.
We ship product all over the world. We make 30 million bars a year.
But the journey to success didn't always smell so sweet for Scentsy founders Orville and Heidi Thompson. In fact, building a multi-million-dollar business was the furthest thing from their minds when they moved to the Treasure Valley nearly 25 years ago.
After our first daughter was born, we went on a quest. We went on a quest looking for the perfect place to raise a family.
That quest landed them in Meridian, Idaho, and eventually swimming in debt after a string of unprofitable business ventures.
He ended up coming to me and saying, "This is where we are, $700,000 plus in debt."
And at this point, we're now dumping the change out of our big water jug in the Coinstar machine to buy groceries.
So the couple decided they had two choices.
We could file bankruptcy or swing for the fence.
They chose to swing and swing hard. The couple's big break came in 2004 when Orville, who at that time made a living selling car waxes and chamois, set up shop at a home show in Salt Lake City, right across from two women selling warmer units that melted fragranced wax. Orville felt like the women had hit on something special.
And he said, "Oh my gosh, what are you baking?" And I said, "It's not baking, it's Scentsy."
There's just a warmth and a roundness and a fullness to fragrance that is warmed through wax.
The couple believed in Scentsy so much that just a couple months later, they bought the fledgling business and set to work figuring out how to turn it into something bigger. Eventually, with a lot of hard work, ingenuity,
I was trying to figure this out in the back of my booth in a crock pot.
And a small but mighty team of consultants who believed in Scentsy as much as the Thompsons, the direct sales business started taking off. The company now has an army of consultants, 120,000 strong, that sell Scentsy products in homes all over the globe. And for Heidi, the real success of Scentsy can be found in the success of these consultants.
Seeing them build their business and realize how special they are. And they all of a sudden realize their potential, that there's so much more.
These days, those consultants tout much more than just bars of wax. At a pair of massive warehouses set just off Eagle Road, hundreds of employees work to meticulously and pristinely produce laundry products, kitchen soaps, bath bombs, fragrances, and of course, the wax bars that got them on the map in the first place, all of which ends up being a huge boon to the gem state's economy.
We probably export out of Idaho $200 million a year. There are people that might be inspired by Scentsy or even knock Scentsy off, but nobody can out Scentsy.
And when it comes to being made in Idaho, the Thompsons say taking their business outside of the gem states has never crossed their mind.
You bloom where you're planted. And I think that the entrepreneurial soil here in the Treasure Valley is amazing.
All right, well, one more fun fact about Scentsy, and something we couldn't show you on video due to proprietary restrictions, but they're the massive machines that churn out the company's scented wax bars. When Scentsy started taking off, Orville couldn't find machines capable of producing the amount of bars they needed, so he invented some that could do it. And now the company is capable of turning out tens of thousands of those wax bars in a single day.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. For those of you in Boise looking for a place to find a good burger, you don't need to look any further than a place that says it all in the name. In today's Made in Idaho, we go inside Boise's own Good Burger. Are you hungry yet? These are just a couple of the hundreds of burgers being served up at the Boise-born restaurant chain, Good Burger.
It's a burger joint, so it's a high quality burger joint. So we take a burger and make it better.
Now the name might sound a little familiar if you grew up in the 90s.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
I initially got the idea for the name there, but kind of put my own spin on it. Yeah, so I mean, it's a great movie, and yeah.
The owner says it's easy to separate the two-location Boise chain from the movie and other burger joints with their thick battered fries and locally sourced ingredients.
A high-quality bun, high-quality meat. So all of our meat is the highest quality meat that we can get. We don't really cut corners in that area, so when you're biting into it, you're biting into a really nice, juicy, delicious and good burger.
I've had people make comments like, these are the best fries I've ever had. These fries are like the donut of fries, which that was kind of a fun one. I was like, oh, okay.
Jones and Gashler are both Boise area natives, so giving back to their community and beyond has been in the plans from the beginning.
So we're looking to do good through like volunteerism with our employees, or giving back to local nonprofits, or even funding missions in third world countries that give health care to those who usually wouldn't have access to it.
There's currently 2 Boise Good Burger locations with a third on the way, and franchises are being bought and opened in other states as well. But no matter how big it gets, its home will be right here in Idaho.
There's that gratification when the people I know and the people here in the community get to come and partake of something that's actually growing, that started here in Boise, Idaho. It does give me that sense of gratification to really know, like, look, things can come from here. Like, look what can happen.
I've lived in other states, but at the end of the day, I was born and raised in the Treasure Valley. The Treasure Valley is obviously a very special place. For me to be a part of something that is kind of becoming a staple here it's absolutely, I really don't have words for it. I'm at a loss. So
I got a chance to try one of their creations, and as corny as it sounds, that is a good burger. Yeah, it was so good my beard fell off. That is a good
not
burger.
Into your burger.
No, we're keeping sanitary.
I was just going to say, I didn't recognize you without the beard. Those look delicious.
They were delicious. They had such a good buttery taste. And the fries, oh my gosh.
So good.
Good burger, good fries, good sauce.
All right.
It was a good
story. Thanks for bringing it.
To build cars, appliances, even airplanes, it takes tools made in Idaho. Micro 100 is known around the world for its super carbide tools. I went inside the Meridian manufacturing facility to learn more.
We make carbide cutting tools that are used in all machining and manufacturing operations anywhere in the world.
At Micro 100, a cutting-edge operation helps create cutting tools.
This is a finished tool that's being run on that machine.
The Meridian Company's super carbide tools are hand-designed to fit different types of machines. The strong and hard carbide material is cut sharp to be able to cut through metal.
These tools are engraving tools. This tool is used in a machine, and it's cutting letters, on metal. So if they need to put a serial number or a part number on on a part that they're making, then they use this.
While some of these tools may look small, they're necessary for the big businesses that use Micro 100 products.
GE, Boeing, all the automakers.
In the late 60s, this family business started from humble beginnings in Southern California with Dale Newberry and his two brothers and their father, Jack.
My dad was a machinist, and he had a dream of making tools that weren't available at that time. And we were making tools in his carport, so we didn't even have walls around us at the time. It was just one wall, and we had one little milling machine, a torch, and a little Japanese tool and cutter grinder. And we both worked nights in machine shops, and then during the days we'd make tools and just go out door to door peddling them.
By 1980, the Newberrys moved the operation to Idaho, where they still call home today, along with 100 other employees and a catalog of 10,000 products.
This is called a roughing cutter, and this is a 4-flute tool. See the 4 different flutes on it, and we grind these flutes like this, and then we come back and grind these grooves in it. These are chip breakers. So it's used in a milling machine like so, and then these grooves break the chips up into very small particles.
Each finished carbide cutting tool is magnified, measured, and inspected very closely before it's packed up and shipped. The Made in Idaho tools making their way to companies all over the U.S. and 50 other countries.
We very much enjoy Idaho, and we can't imagine a better place to live.
And we would love to hear your story ideas as well. Email us or send us a Facebook message with any Made in Idaho businesses you think we should check out. And you can see all our other Made in Idaho stories on 6onyourside.com.